All right, lovelies, we are going to talk about self-trust. And I really feel like I could literally do a video on self-trust almost daily to send out to you guys, because I see this as being such a struggle point. What I mean by that is self-trust is I state that I will do X and I do X. But in that bundle of what I just said, it sounds so simple, right? You're like, hey, Heather, I say I'm going to do things all the time, and then I don't. Oh, I'm going to organize those papers for tax season, and then I don't. I'm going to go for that 3-mile walk, and then I don't. This is the year I'm going to lose weight, and then I don't. And what happens over time, and it tears me up because I used to be this person, it strips away your belief in yourself. It weakens you. It hurts your self-efficacy. It brings nothing positive to your life. You would be better off to not set any goals, in my opinion. You'd be better off to set no goals, not proclaim you're going to do something, and then not do it. Like, if we're talking about the fundamentals, right? If you do not have a relationship with yourself built on self-trust, you have nothing. Nothing. Because you are the only powerhouse that can get this done. Whatever this is, whether it's paying off a debt, whether it's losing weight, whether it's going back to school, whether it's improving your skill set for your job, whether it's building a business, like you're the only person who can put hands to work, feet to movement, food to mouth, right? You're the only person doing these things. You can have the best coaches, the best team. And yes, for the hour that they work with you, they can help you get your mind in alignment. They can help you have a plan of action. But if you don't execute the action, nothing happens, right? Like you're the deciding factor. And for years, you've allowed a very negative relationship to accumulate, which is you say something, you don't do it, you then lose trust and faith in yourself. You say, I'm not somebody who keeps my commitment to myself. Now, there's probably people outside of you that it would devastate you to no end if they truly believed you were untrustworthy. If you told your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mom, your aunt, your child, I will do X, you're showing up and doing X 9 times out of 10 because those relationships mean something to you. And you know that if you don't follow through, it's going to hurt the foundation of those relationships. You can only strip away so much before you have to put back, right? And so what my point with this whole self-trust thing is, I see people in the weight loss grouping trying to use building self-trust as a way to force themselves to be compliant so they can lose weight. Well, Heather talks a lot about self-trust. I'm going to say out loud, I will track all my food today. Even though for you that's a Herculean effort, you've never done it. Why in the world would you set that as a self-trust building activity? You're not. You're setting that as a weight loss activity. And I say this all the time. For me to lose 170 pounds, I had to put self-trust above weight loss. What I mean by that is self-trust in of itself is a goal, just like weight loss is a goal, okay? I wanted to build self-trust more than I wanted to lose weight. And what that means is what I set for myself trust building habits was I'm going to drink a cup of water today. I'm going to walk down to the mailbox and back. I set ridiculously easy tasks that I was almost 99% sure I could do because I realized how damaged my relationship and my self-trust was. And my goal was not weight loss, it was building self-trust. Now, what happens is if you are setting small things, and I had a notebook, I would write these things down. September 21st, whatever, my action today that I will do, right, is put a roast in the crock pot. Okay, put a roast in the crock pot. Initial off, did that action. building self-trust. Today, I'm going to take my kids and walk them around the block one time. Write that down, ridiculously easy. I knew I could do it. Went around the block, build self-trust. Once I had pages of these things written out and initialed off on, I then started to push myself a little bit more. Pages, months, not day one. Because the goal with that activity was never about Heather losing weight. It was about Heather building self-trust. It's almost like two different roads. The road of weight loss goes to the goal of you weighing less on the scale. The goal of self-trust is that you believe what you say and you only commit to things you realistically can do. And that's really the other half of this, right? It's that self-honesty and self-acceptance and self-awareness. You can't be honest about somebody you're not really in tune with. So what that means is if you're making these proclamations of what you're going to do, you kind of first have to be honest about who you are, what you tend to do, what you're capable of, and not give yourself things that are really going to cause you to crash and burn day one, okay? And that is hard for many people. As a coach, that's probably the part that I spend the most time on, is bringing awareness to people so they can actually see their behaviors. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on the phone with a client and I said, well, you know, how do you think you did with your tracking? And they, oh, I did pretty good. I said, well, just so you know, you track 64% of the time. And they're like, really? And because in their mind, they didn't see it that way. But when you go through their food logs and you see how many days they miss tracking or incomplete tracking, you immediately, it's mathematical, X amount of days out of X amount of days, but they don't see it that way because they're living their life. They're detached from the reality. And then you're bringing awareness to their situation. And that is a hard pill to swallow sometimes, because that means you really have to take a deep look at your past behaviors, being honest, and you have to really say to yourself, what am I capable of right now? Like, if my goal is building self-trust and not losing weight, what is it that I can start with that I almost 99% am assured I will do and can do? Not that I'm forcing myself to do under the guise of this is how I build self-trust. No, you need to build self-trust first. Now, from self-trust, it acts as the foundation of your home. All things are possible. And what I mean by that is, if you want to pay off debt, if you want to lose weight, if you want to switch careers, if you want to build a business, if you self-trust, all that's actually possible. But as long as you don't believe yourself and you think you're incompetent and your self-efficacy is extremely low, you will forever flounder, because you'll always say you'll do things that there's no way you're going to do. You're going to peter out after a few weeks and you accept it. You're like, that's just what I do. No, fight back. Fight back on this one point, because what that is it's keeping you in the hamster wheel of just mediocrity. Like, if you want more, self-trust is required, because you, again, are the powerhouse that makes all things change. All things happen. So the relationship you have with yourself is the most important. Self-trust is more important than weight loss. It's more important than anything, because without it, nothing else really happens. And number two, you building self-trust in of itself is a goal. It's not like, oh, self-trust and weight loss. No. Just self-trust. Because if you believe yourself, if you become more familiar with yourself, if you accept yourself, faults and all, if you start to really evaluate your past behaviors, you will start doing things to set yourself up for success. All right, I hope this all makes good sense. I will release videos periodically about self-trust, because I see this as being really the huge foundational downfall in so many people getting where they want to be. They set unrealistic goals. They're not honest about themselves. They don't set themselves up for success. They set themselves up for falling. And it's all because the self-trust has not been prioritized. I hope this video helps. Please like and subscribe to me on YouTube. And if you have more questions or need more assistance, please leave it in the comments below. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.